What's up, everyone? Drunken Phoenix here. So today I'm going to do some reactions to people talking about their Disney debt and just the outrageous amount of money they spend on Disney. Surprisingly, even though I live in Florida, I don't really frequent the amusement parks often. Last time I've been to Universal Studios was like in 20, I think it was in 22. So I didn't know this was a whole thing with like adults going into like crazy debt with Disney, just spending crazy money. I guess I like raving, so that's like my thing, music festivals. So I guess everybody have their thing, but let's get started.
Day at Disney cost me for a family of 5. Before we even got into the park, it cost me $30 just for parking. And even being a Florida resident, tickets for a family of 5 with one child under 10 was still $974. Paying for the Lightning Lane was $35 per person and only would have given us speed access to 3 rides, so we opted out of that. Right after our first ride, we bought 2 waters and 3 ice creams. This totaled $29.50.
Okay, I had to pause that right there. 2 waters and 3 ice cream, pretty much $30. That is egregious. That is crazy. I must say so myself. That's insane.
After the second ride, they wanted a pretzel and I wanted a beer. This was another $19. This guy right here wanted a lightsaber for $44.99, but I was a hard no. After that, it was time for lunch, so we went to the Brown Derby where we could sit down for a little bit and order a decent meal. They didn't like the options and the prices were outrageous, so we left and went somewhere else. We each ended up with a small pizza, each had a side and a small drink, totaling $44.35. After lunch, we took off, awaited more lines, and we also met a few characters along the way. Once we got to Star Wars Land, we had to buy some blue milk for $10.29. It tasted like a slushie with nerds on top.
$10 for blue milk, which basically a slushie and nerds, which is basically water with syrup and some candy. $10 for that. That's insane.
We took a few minutes to meet Kylo Ren.
Your courage will be tested and rewarded.
The kids then snuck away and bought some Star Wars Coca-Cola. This was $6.50. But this guy said it was worth it. After the next ride, we went and had a churro, a water, and a margarita. It had been a long day at this point. That margarita was well needed. This was another $36. And just as I thought the day was finally over, the rest of the family decided they wanted to go to dinner at downtown Disney Springs. This place was my literal hell. It was shoulder to shoulder in every store and restaurant. We ended up at the Formata Cucina for some Mexican food. $30 for carnitas, $19 margarita, $8 corn, $30 carne asada, and then each of the kids with drinks and food were an additional $30 to $40 each, totaling $245.27 for dinner. There was some sticker shock here, and right after that, they all wanted to go shop. Luckily, it was getting late, and we decided to not go into any stores. The grand total for our day was $1,391.91.
Okay, so a lot to digest there. I think that just shows firsthand how much these little things add up. Because when I was hearing about this whole Disney thing with how much people are spending, I was like, how are people spending $2,000 on a Disney trip? But I guess when you factor in the tickets themselves are like, he said for 4 or 5 people, like $945. That's a lot. That's like a big bulk of it. So I can see that, I guess, but the food is what gets you. I'm still not over the $30 for 3 ice cream and 2 waters. And then he said something about a fast lane pass that was $35 per person. So that's crazy.
I'm in credit card debt, but I still have my Disney Pass, me in a Mickey shirt right now. I just feel like this is one of the things that I'm just never going to cut out because, first of all, it brings me so much joy. It is in my budget, and I feel like if I'm paying off debt and I'm putting all my extra money towards that, this is my one thing, or not my one thing, there's a few things, but this is one of the few things that is for myself that I get to enjoy and that makes life not miserable. So I feel like if you're paying off debt, I say yes, you can be aggressive and put a lot of money towards debt, but you should still find stuff that brings you joy and makes you happy, because if not, it's just gonna suck and you're gonna be miserable, and I don't want to be miserable, so I'm gonna keep my Disney Pass.
I kind of like how that girl thinks. I mean, granted, I think Disney's way overpriced, and I'm still, I guess I was a Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon kind of kid, so Disney was something that I kind of got into as I got a little bit older, like maybe like around maybe like around like fifth grade or like middle school era. So I'm not super sentimental about Disney stuff, but I like what she said. You know, I guess my equivalent to this is like music festivals. I love music festivals. I can afford it, but admittedly, I do spend way more on music festivals than I should. So I think as long as you're reasonable with your price, with your spending. But a lot of people aren't. And luckily, I think she said, I'm assuming she lives in California, like in SoCal. So, she doesn't have to spend a lot of money for, housing and hotels and stuff like that. And same for me. I live in Florida, so I wouldn't have to spend too much on that either. But I'm just not a Disney guy. I'm not a Disney guy.
You guys are a fucking cult! I've never met Disney adults before, at least I didn't think so. Whoa, is this what they're actually like? You guys are creatures! You're spending so much money you don't fucking have! $3,000 in Disney on this month, and then $1,000 on the other card. $4,000 in Disney in one fucking month! And you're going 2 times next month, then 1 March, and then 1 million more times next year? 2 times in the last couple months? This doesn't fucking make sense! How does this keep going? How is Disney continuing to populate throughout this conversation?
So the passes were $2,000
For the both of us.
What?
Both of us.
For fucking what?
For the whole year. Now we can go
Anytime we
whenever
want.
we want.
To any park at any time.
Just to Disney, the Disneyland parks.
What is happening? How is this? What are you guys?
The 2 people we're going with at the end of January are paying us back for those
Paying
tickets.
it's been over a month. It is also risky. You're essentially loaning out on your credit card a balance you have not paid.
Well, she is our old roommate, and she's always paid on time, so I just trust her.
Always takes once, just like your once of not paying your student loans. You are both subjects in this insanity.
Okay, so they are examples of what not to do. It seems like, I'm assuming since they're on his show, that they're not paying their Disney debt. And look, I get everybody has their guilty pleasure. Everybody has their thing that they do. Like I said, mine is music festivals and concerts. But I feel like amusement parks are a little bit different. It's like, why do you have to go to Disney World or Disneyland multiple times a year, like multiple times in a month? Like, haven't you seen all the attractions? And they just said that's just for Disneyland, which is much smaller than Disney World. Like, Disney World is way bigger, by the way. But they're going to Disneyland multiple times a month. And what else is there to see? You saw the Cinderella Castle, you saw Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse. That is a bit much for me. Like I said, not judging. People have their things that they do. But if if this causes you to go into thousands of dollars into debt, you might want to rethink your spending and how much you really should be going to Disney. Especially if you're an adult. I'm sorry. If you're an adult and you love Disney that much, I get it brings people back to their childhood, but I just don't understand it.
Listen, I love Disney and Disney World as much as the next person. Some of you don't like that I like it, but I do. But this survey came out, you guys, 45% of families are going into debt to go to Disney. Now listen, here's the thing. It is not a rite of passage into humanity to go to Disney World. But as parents, that's what we kind of tend to believe. It's like Disney World is like this thing you have to do. Now, is it great and is it fun? Absolutely. But save up and pay cash. Do not go financially backwards to go to Disney World, okay? It is not worth the stress. It is not worth the lack of sleep that you're going to have to be thinking about this bill that you'll be paying for months and months and months. Instead, be proactive. Save if you want to go. That's great. Just have a plan and say, hey, we're going to save up X amount per month in order to do this trip. But with vacations, regardless, you guys, the best ones are the ones that don't follow you home in the form of a bill. So save up and pay cash and enjoy Mickey that way. It may take you a little longer, but that's okay.
I just booked a trip to Disneyland, even though I'm paying off $41,000 worth of debt. This is my 3rd time going this year to a Disney park. We've really been enjoying ourselves. My kids are 4 and 5, so they're like...
Her 3rd time, you guys. Her 3rd time this year. What is the obsession? Like, and I get, you want to do nice things for your kids. Like, if I have kids, of course I'm taking them to Disney World. But I think once every few years is enough. And it's not, to me, it's not even just about the money thing. It's just how much is there to see at Disney, Yeah, especially if I have $41,000 in debt.
Literally the perfect age to like watch them go through and like experience the magic so purely, and so it makes us feel like we're kids again too. So we're really going to take advantage of that, and instead of doing like a traditional Christmas and a million presents and different decorations and all the things, we're just going to go to Disneyland. We just moved from Montana to Arizona, and so we do have a lot of our old Christmas decor that we brought with us that we are going to bring out hopefully this weekend, but there's no need for us to like buy a bunch of new decor this year. Honestly, we are staying with my parents currently, so like we don't have our own space to decorate, even though we will be decorating with our decorations as well here, but we really don't have to spend a ton of money on like decorations and like hosting all the different things that we would normally do in the past few years of Christmas time. Instead, we're going to allocate that, and my kids will get presents from literally everyone else in their life, and we're going to take them to Disneyland the week before Christmas. I'm just a huge proponent of like making sure that we also live our life while we're in this step-free journey. I know it's maybe not the top choice for someone who's paying off a ton of debt, but to be honest, like my kids are only going to be this age for so long. Like I don't want to spend their entire childhood being so strict that we didn't make any memories. Honestly, I don't really care. It's fully justified for me. And so, I don't know, this is just your sign that if you are in a similar journey, even if it's not something as extreme as going to Disneyland, like make sure that you take time to also make experiences and take little breaks and treat yourself, also so you don't get burnt out during the journey too.
What is the
Now, I know, you know, this lady says she's going to do what she wants to do, and she doesn't care what I got to say about it. But I mean, I'm here to react. Like I said, I'm a big experience person. Like I spent more money than maybe I should have on different experiences, like trips, music festivals, just a lot of different things. Because I do feel like you have to enjoy life. You know, life is so short, and you know, being super frugal with money, never spending it on anything, and not enjoying it. I feel like I feel like that's kind of, you know, a little bit, what's the word? I don't know. I feel like you should just enjoy your money. You know, of course, be responsible in saving. However, given this lady's circumstances, I think that she should find some cheaper ways to enjoy the moment with her children, because it's like I think she said she'd been to Disney World 3 times that year. Okay, you got that experience. Okay. I can see maybe once every year or once every other year, but 3 times in 1 year and still going. And I think she said that she's currently staying with her parents as well. I don't know if that's temporarily, but I mean, that is an example of where I said you have to get your priorities in order. You know, you can go. There's so many other things you can do with your children. Going to the park, going to the beach, going on maybe not a hike, but you know, it's just it's more than just Disney.
Total price of a Disney trip.
We have 3 kids, spent around like $5,000.
And how many days?
5 days.
Did you use credit cards for the trip?
No.
Yeah.
If we have cash for it, then we'll do it.
Do you have any other debt?
Mortgage and cars.
Car for sure. That's something I'm looking to get rid of soon. So, how much is your car balance right now? I probably have 15 grand left on it.
We just got another car, and so I've only had it maybe like 6 months. So like all of it is left off the car.
What's your car payment on it?
$567 on mine, and then he has a Tesla.
$723. $1,200 on car payments each month.
And then our mortgage is high.
Knock out them car payments.
We're getting rid of the Tesla, so we'll just have the 1 car.
What's your best saving tip? Separate your bank accounts.
We pay our bills together. Like we have joint accounts, more than 1. But his money is his money, my money is my money. We've been doing this 16 years and it works out fine.
First of all, you guys look real young.
We have a 13-year-old son. So.
All right. So yeah. So they said, you know, I think they have 3 children. If you have a family of 5, if you're going to Disney, expect to spend about $5,000. I'm assuming, I don't know if they live in Florida or not. I'm assuming most people do not live in Orlando. So yeah. But one thing that I think they said that was really good was that they spent it all in cash. So you can tell they had discipline and want to have a good experience for their children, but at the same time were responsible enough to have the money on hand, so they're not like, you know, paying it off. As far as the car payments, that's a whole another story. That's not really relevant to this video. You know, people, you know, you guys are going to get your expensive $700 car payments. I don't understand that, but you know, I think they've done pretty good compared to everybody else in this video. Anyway, that's the video for today. Let me know what you all think. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video.